Okay, once again, a very, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the MTM organized by SPE Abuja section. Of course, today's event is themed Shaping Africa's Energy Future, AI, Quantum, and Emerging Technologies at the forefront. Of course, if you check your screen right now, you will see that we have the agenda for today's event. Of course, arrival of participants, we have the safety brief. I'll introduce the speakers, and then we'll have a welcome remark by our section chairman. And after that, we switch gears immediately to the moderator giving his lecture for 40 minutes. We have a question and answer for 10 minutes. And then we have our membership chair share the Abuja membership pack, and we have a closing remark. It's going to be a brief and very interesting technical lecture. My name is Ofofono Akpan. My pleasure to serve as your moderator for today. Of course, the safety brief for today goes as follows. We kindly appeal that for today's event, you leave your microphone on mute if you're not speaking, so as not to cause an interference during our deliberations. You also advise that if you're driving, you park your car in a very safe space or use your Bluetooth device so that you can enjoy the lecture without having an accident on the road. I believe you will have a very, very safe lecture. And of course, you agree with me. Can I see your chat in the comment that you're going to enjoy the lecture, of course, in a very safe way? Welcome, welcome. Let me continue by introducing some amazing personalities that have joined us today. Please, when I recognize you, you can just respond with a hi or a hello. We start by saying a warm welcome to our programs chair for SP Abuja section, Professor Kafayat Adeyemi. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. A very good evening to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for joining us, and of course, be the brain behind this event. We also say a warm welcome to the membership chairman of SP Abuja section here present, Dr. Ogenerume Ogolo. Warm welcome to you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Great. Looking forward to an exciting event.
Thank you, sir. We also have with us a section director, Sir Engineer Dr. Victus Ibe on the call. A very good evening to you, sir. Confirm you can hear me, sir. Okay, you see, raise up your hand, sir. Engineer Victus Ibe, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome,
okay,
everyone.
Welcome, section director.
Good evening, sir.
We're pleased to also have our financial secretary on the call, Ugochi Nwachuku. Welcome, Ugochi. Pleasure to have you on the call.
Thank you very much. Looking forward for informative MTM.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, okay, of course, ladies and gentlemen, today for the next 40 minutes, we'll be pleased to listen to a senior staff, of course, an AI architect with Edge Computing Group Intel. Of course, he is a brain of knowledge, Dr. Bashir Mohammed. Dr. Bashir, a warm evening to you, and confirm you can hear me, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to it. I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting to speak and share your knowledge free of charge to SP Abuja section. We appreciate your kind gesture. Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we switch gears immediately to the welcome remark by our section chair. Of course, our section chair is ably represented by the program's chair. I'd like to welcome Professor Kafayat Adeyemi for the welcome remark. Prof, the stage is yours now.
Good evening once again. Please confirm if I'm being heard.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I welcome everyone to this monthly technical meeting. And as it is the tradition of SPE and the mission of SPE to educate and disseminate technical knowledge amongst our professionals to enhance our technical competence, and also as opportunities for our younger professionals to develop themselves. It's going to be an interesting session. I have scanned through the profile of our speaker, and so I want to believe we're fully loaded. And so I want to keep it at that and just say we should all sit tight and listen to what this AI guru has to deliver to us this evening. I'm sure it's going to be an interactive, engaging, and knowledgeable session. Once again, thank you all for joining the call.
Thank you so much, our amazing, phenomenal programs chair, for stepping in for the section chair at short notice. Your Excellencies, distinguished members of Spe Abuja section, of course, we switch gears immediately to knowing about emerging technologies at the forefront of Africa's energy future. Of course, how do we leverage these innovations, of course, and achieve a more resilient and efficient, sustainable energy future? To give us a lecture for the next 40 minutes, of course, he is, you can see the screen of our speaker. Our speaker, of course, is an accomplished senior AI architect at Intel with passion for exploring the potential of artificial intelligence and science. He earned his bachelor's degree in electrical and computer engineering from Fort Mina, Nigeria, an MSc in control systems from the University of Sheffield, and of course a PhD in computer science from the University of Bradford, United Kingdom. Prior to his current role, he has conducted groundbreaking research at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, working for the US Department of Energy, where he focuses AI and machine learning applications for intelligent networks, automatic control systems, quantum communications networks, and data provenance in high performance computing and distribution systems. I could go on and on. Of course, he has been recognized for his outstanding contributions and was honored with the Berkeley's Lab Research Slam Award. In 2019, he had the privilege of being among the select few of postdoctoral fellows from the U.S. National Labs invited to Washington, D.C. to share his research insights with legislators and the Capitol Hill audience. Of course, in 2023, he was chosen as a science policy fellow by the Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics, furthering affirming his dedication to bridging the gap between scientific research and policy making. I could go on and on who Dr. Bashir Mohammed is, and it will take time for the entire lecture. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand over now to a senior staff AI architect at Edge Computing Group Intel, Dr. Bashir Mohammed, who will lead us for the next 40 minutes. Sir, the future stage is yours for your lecture.
Okay, sorry. Yes, okay, I'm mute. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good, excellent. So thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. I'm going to put on my video for a while so that you know that you're not speaking to a ghost. And after that, maybe I will turn it off just for bandwidth. But I'm really excited to be joining you today to share. I'm aware that I have 40 minutes, so I'm going to start and see how. So just let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'll put it in a presenter view shortly. Sorry, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, sir, we see your screen.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So again, thank you very much for joining today. I'm really excited to share, to connect with you all the way from Silicon Valley, San Francisco in California. It's currently about 8:15 in the morning here. So, but despite the early hour, I'm really thrilled and honored to be with you here today. So having served as a research fellow in the U.S. Department of Energy, worked at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, which is a U.S. government national lab with 16 Nobel Prize winners, by the way. And I've had the privilege of seeing and working, at the technological forefront of energy. And today I'm really excited to share some of these insights to a topic that is both timely and crucial, which is on emerging technologies, focusing on Africa, because Africa is really dear to me. And so since this is an SPE audience, I'm assuming we have some folks here from midstream and downstream folks. Is that correct? So I would just want maybe a quick type in the chat window. If you are more aligned with midstream, just say M, and if you are more aligned with downstream, just say D. And if none of the above, just say none. So I will rely on the moderator to tell me if we have more D's, more M, or none at all. Okay. Okay. Excellent. So yeah, I can see that. Okay, academic, none. Okay, I see a lot of academics. Okay, that's great. Okay, so again, show of hands if you've applied any AI or machine learning in your area at all, and it can be anything. If you've done like applied AI or any of the emerging technologies in your area of research. I just need a Y or N as a type, just yes or no. Okay, okay, okay. We have, yeah, a few yes and few no. Okay, okay, great. So I'm going to ask my last question now. Show of hands if you've ever used any generative AI like ChatGPT, Google, Claude, DeepSeek. I just want a yes or a no. Okay, excellent. A lot of years, because if there's any no here, then we'll have to tell that person to leave, right? Because maybe he's not living on this planet, maybe he's living on another planet. So whether we like it or not, right? AI, generative AI has actually come to us. A couple of years ago, it's only experts that have access to these generative AI, tools and the benefits. But right now, they've pushed it onto a user. Everyone, like, look at it now. Almost everyone on this call has answered yes to say he has used, a generative AI tool or the other. So that's just to show you that the world is changing. So irrespective of your domain of expertise, you have to also try, to change with the world. That's the whole idea about the emerging technologies. Okay, so I'll give a brief background about myself. So the moderator has done justice to that already, but I'll just highlight some few stuffs here. So I'm an experienced AI researcher, and I have over a decade of experience working with the US government. I've worked in operations research, cybersecurity, aerospace, academia, and I joined Intel 2 years ago as a senior staff lead AI architect. And previously, I worked at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and there I did a lot of research across. And one cool project I worked on with DOE was something called self-driving networks, which we tried to make the US Department of Energy network infrastructure to be self-driving. So we wanted it to be self-configuring, self-optimizing, self-healing, and self-protecting. So we did a lot of reinforcement learning here just to make sure there's fully autonomous network. Again, this same thing can be applied in the oil and gas sector, whether downstream or upstream. And that's the reason why I'm taking my time to highlight all these things and to tell you that the same things for folks from academia, from industry, these things are all applicable and transferable. Okay, so and those are some of my achievements. I'm not going to go through them, but one thing that I'm really proud of is I got invited to US Congress to speak to Capitol Hill audience to give a 5 minute talk. They are the most difficult people to speak to because they are not technical at all. But I was able to, train myself and learn. So some of my audience were Nancy Pelosi, for example, Randy Weber of Texas, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. So that was a turning moment for me in my life, coming all the way from Nigeria. I don't even have an American accent yet, but I found myself giving a 5 minutes compelling talk, to the US Congress. So I was really proud of myself to achieve that. So I had these are all my educational qualifications. And I worked briefly at Rolls-Royce. So a lot of my friends, when I tell them Rolls-Royce, the first thing that comes to their mind is expensive cars. So I worked with aircraft engines, Trent 900 series engines. So if you've ever been on a Boeing 787 or Airbus 380, then most likely you've been on one of the engines which I've worked on. So those are my social media links. So feel free to reach out. Okay, so here's my outline topic for today. I'll start by the current landscape and the trends. Then I'll speak a little bit about some of the challenging and opportunities, focusing on Africa. Like I said, Africa is really dear to me. Then I'll also talk about some of the power of the emerging technologies, look at some case study. Then what does the future hold? What are the key areas we think, there will be some drive in terms of these emerging technologies. Then I'll give some conclusion. So what I've done is at the end, I've also added just one slide on midstream and downstream sector for those that would be interested to see how some of these technologies can be applied in the oil and gas. I know this is a petroleum audience. So again, it's time for folks from this petroleum sector to start leveraging on some of the capabilities of this. And energy is really important. Without energy, we can go nowhere. And that's the approach that has been applied in the Western world. Energy is fundamental, which is the base. With energy, that can, help with achieving a lot of the transformations you want to do in the petroleum sector. So the energy sector has undergone a dynamic transformation, and this is really driven by a lot of technological advancement. We have the policy changes, obviously, but there's also the global push towards sustainability, right? So energy trends or emerging technologies like, again, AI needs no introduction, machine learning, IoT, cloud, this has really reflected a shift towards right now the world is thinking being cleaner and also decentralization of energy, right? And digitally integrated systems is also one component which I have also seen in the West, whereby everything is just no more analog, but rather than they are moving more digital, having digitally integrated systems. So from decarbonization initiatives to the rise of renewable sources, they've really embraced the digital technologies, and these trends are reshaping the future of not only energy production, but also distribution, consumption, and also the oil and gas, right? So again, I've told you that energy is fundamental in the Western world, and we also have to start thinking about that. I'll tell you one shocking thing. Aside the U.S. Department of Defense, there is no agency in the US that has more budget than energy. So when I mean agency, it's just like ministry in Nigeria. So they call theirs agency here. So only Department of Defense that have more budget, but energy has really significant budget. That's like the second. So what that means is these guys don't have an energy problem. They don't have an oil. They don't have some of the problems we have, but they've really invested. They're still investing a lot, in this space. So that's basically a lesson, which I've really learned. So again, so I want to take a moment to reflect back and highlight on the importance and innovations of technology, right, in the energy sector. So over the last 200 years, we've gotten our energy, how we've gotten our energy has drastically changed. So the infographics you see on the left-hand side provide historical context of the ongoing shift away from the fossil fuel, right? So all the way from the Industrial Revolution to the 60s, when the oil demand surged, as we have gasoline vehicles took off, to the decades when we share the renewable has increased, to about 3.1%. So these changes were driven by a lot of innovations, right? We didn't just start from, if you look at 1800 and now let's say maybe, for example, 2020, there's been a lot of transformation that's happened in the energy. So it's always good for us to reflect on that. So as countries ramp up their efforts to curb emissions, solar and wind capabilities are expanding globally. So if you take a look on the right-hand side, we can see, just to zoom in, what it looked like in 2023, what has really powered the global energy consumption. You'll see that, a total of, let's say, 620 exajoules of energy have been consumed worldwide, right? But out of that, it's broken down into different components, from hydro to nuclear to natural gas to even oil, right? So basically, what you can see here is there's a diverse mix of energy sources powering our planet, basically. So that's really fundamental to know. So so basically here are the highlights of what I was showing in the right-hand side. So coal led the pack with about 32%, and coal remains a significant energy sources, right, with about 196 exajoules. Natural gas was closely behind, and natural gas accounts for about 26% of the global energy, right, totaling 164 energy joules. Oil contributing to 23%. So I know this is a big deal to everyone on this call because you guys are SPE folks. So oil remains a major player, right, in what is powering the entire world's energy consumption. So about 144 exajoules. And other renewables making a notable impact. So renewable energies like wind, solar, they've accounted for about 8%, contributing to about 51 exajoules. Hydropower has about 6%. Hydropower generates about 40 exajoules. You can see that. Then nuclear providing about 4%. So nuclear is still trying to catch up. It's still so. So basically, what this shows is that the diverse energy mix highlights the ongoing reliance of fossil fuels, obviously, which also shows a significant stride made on renewable energy. So we've seen this a little bit of shift towards renewable energy. But as we move on, the goal lies in balancing our energy needs with sustainable practice, just to combat, a big topic right now, which is the climate change issue. Okay, so we've seen a significant technological advancement in the recent years, and the role technology is improving, and the role technology in improving efficiency, safety, and sustainability has had, right? So to summarize the current landscape and trends, we've seen renewable energy growth, which have seen increased adoption. Again, I've mentioned, like I mentioned earlier, solar, wind, and others. Then we've also seen digital transformation of energy infrastructure. Okay, and that's another thing that the West has really moved on really faster, literally digitizing all their infrastructure, from pipeline monitoring for all these things to monitoring the consumption, the distribution. All this is now digital, and we have seen decentralization. So show of hands if you've heard of anything, if you've ever heard of IoT. IoT is Internet of Things, right? But there's something called Internet of Energy, IoE. Okay, I want you, for anyone interested, you can do some more research about that. So the Internet of Energy, historically, energy power systems have relied on a centralized architecture, and that presents a challenge, right? Because it's all centralized. However, with Internet of Energy emerging as a solution to many of these hurdles, they are now offering an enhanced efficiency, optimal design for energy systems within the building. So IoE basically introduced intelligent distribution control mechanism that will facilitate energy transactions among all users. Okay, so and this will enable intelligent and decentralized control. Remember, what we have right now is more like a centralized control, but this is going to be more like a decentralized control. So IoE will revolutionize how energy is being managed, enhanced, and the efficiency of coordinating energy transactions, with the larger energy ecosystem. So this is one thing I've also learned, and there's been a lot of work being done in the IoE space, the Internet of Energy space within the Department of Energy. So energy storage advances is also one. Then huge investment in emerging technologies and innovations, a lot of investment in R&D, like I said, and this is something I've seen firsthand during my work at DOE, that there's been a lot of investment, despite they have less energy issues, but there's still constant investment in this area. So what are the challenges and opportunities, right? What are the challenges that this poses? So one of the key challenges everyone will come up with is cybersecurity, obviously, that's a challenge. Regulatory compliance, and integrating these new technologies also, this will be the challenge. But the impact of global economic fluctuations and resource limitations, for example, if you think about the developing and the developed, right? They have a resource challenge between these two. And the opportunities, and those are some of the challenges, but the opportunities will be, there's going to be innovation and growth, and the potential for emerging technologies to address current challenges and drive future advancement, basically leveraging some of the capabilities of emerging technologies to address and solve the current challenges. I have a few friends in Shell and Chevron in the US and the UK, and most of the technologies they are using right now to do pipeline monitoring, the gas monitoring from LNG, for example, this has really transformed, and they are literally leveraging on most of these emerging technologies. Because a lot of us, what we do is that we just say, okay, we are chemical engineers, we are petroleum engineers, and that's what some African countries do. And they just say, no, we don't want this change. But when you sit down and analyze some of this, you really need to embrace it. Just like last year, if I come out 2 years ago, if I ask in this same audience, how many of you have used generative AI or ChatGPT? I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of no, no, no. But on this call, I asked and everyone was yes. So that's really to show you that, things are changing. Okay, so and this leads us to the importance and benefits of these emerging technologies. One, we've talked about sustainability and environmental impact, which obviously that's really cool. Reduction in carbon footprints and promoting environmental sustainability, green technologies and sustainable practices. Then the second key important one is also improving safety and reliability. And here, when I mean safety and reliability, means safety and reliability of energy infrastructure, right? So the role of AI, machine learning in monitoring, and also coming up with predictive model for analytics. That's also very crucial. Then enhancing efficiency and productivity. Emerging technologies can optimize operations and reduce cost, which is a big deal, right? Preventive maintenance and reducing downtime. Again, all these things have really highlighted here of all these benefits of emerging technologies. 100% are applicable in the oil and gas sector. 100% are applicable in downstream, upstream, whatever sector you are in, whether provided is the oil and gas sector, this is the petroleum sector, this is 100% applicable. And that's one of the cool things of AI, right? But a lot of people don't understand that. They just think AI is only limited to some certain places, but no. So these are some of the key technologies driving the energy industry. Like I said, we have artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things. We also have cloud computing. We have big data analytics, predictive maintenance, blockchain, and advanced sensors. There are two that are really still new. And this is something the Western world have even started making. A lot of research has been investment have started to be done in this. So we've seen a lot. We've seen the number one as AI, and this is still an emerging area. But with the explosion of generative AI, like large language models, large vision models, multi-agentic workflows, this will even be more interesting to see how this can transform the energy sector. So I've included two things in red. If you look at the bottom, so in those, one of them is quantum computing, and the other is Internet of Energy. So I just want to pause here and ask in the audience if you've ever heard of quantum computing, you know what it is. I just want a yes, why, or a no in the chat window. Quantum computing. Let's see. Okay, yes, we have some yes. We have some no. Okay, yeah, we have some yes. Okay. And yeah. How about Internet of Energy, IOE? I also want some yes or some no. Okay, yes, okay. We have some yes, we have no. Okay, so yeah. So I think this is the most interesting group. I like it because it's diverse. It's not just one-sided. Okay, so that's really cool. So quantum computing represents a cutting-edge technology that will put that with the potential of revolutionizing, various industries, including the energy and the oil and gas. So with respect to energy, quantum holds a promise for not just for solving a complex problem that classical computers can struggle with. Remember, the whole oil and gas sector is all on a computer systems, right? All these things, the monitoring, monitoring of consumption, the oil and gas pipeline monitoring, all these things are running on the computer systems. Imagine if all these things, are running. Imagine if all maybe we were trying to build a model or a predictive model that can maybe come up with some predictive analytics. And this is what maybe our classical computers can solve, but it will take a longer time. And that's talking about maybe the GPUs from NVIDIA, right? Because that's what they use in training all these models to fine tune them so that we can get a lot of good result from the predictive analytics side. So what quantum is going to do is going to transform that space from medical to power to energy. There's going to be a lot, right? And that this can really have huge impact on material discovery, for example, grid optimization, energy storage. With quantum, I believe there's going to be a lot of transformation. So again, I asked if there were folks, but I just highlighted this sector, this slide, which I added lately. So if anyone that is interested in understanding where he thinks some of these technologies can plug in, this is a very good table to show that. So I've categorized them into midstream applications and downstream, and I've showed how some of these technologies can be applied in some of these areas, okay? Within the US Department of Energy, I'm going to share some of the use cases I worked on and all that. But again, this is just to give you a very high level overview, and I'm happy to collaborate and work with anyone or anyone that needs more insights on information on how these emerging technologies can be applied in your area. Please feel free to reach out to me. So the top one you consider it's AI and machine learning. We have predictive maintenance and pipeline and storage tanks, AI-driven leak detection, for example, optimization of LNG processing. Again, some of you have already seen this, but these are some of the advantages. When you think about downstream, we have AI-powered demand forecasting, smart fuel retail pricing, and also AI for refining process optimization. Again, some of these areas are emerging. People are still trying to do R&D, while some we've seen a lot of research already ongoing in this area. So what we can do from African standpoint is to start taking a stab in some of these things. Moving forward, we have gone abroad. Our own dream is to give back to the continent to see how we can, start changing things, not just going learning there and giving them, but we also need to come and give back. So again, I'm happy to work or collaborate with anyone and to also help and give you guys more guidance and information for anyone interested in any of these research areas. We have IoT and smart sensors as well, where we have real-time pipeline monitoring. On the right-hand side, you can see we're talking about smart refineries and automation. Again, this might not have started in Africa or in Nigeria, but this is something the Western world already have moved, they've really moved forward for. I believe we have the capability, we have the money, we're a rich country, rich continent, but obviously, with the right leadership, we can start, breaking some of these glass ceilings. We also have blockchain, big data, cloud computing, then we have quantum computing. Please make notes of all this. Feel free to ask me questions at the end of the presentation. I'm happy to really dive deep, much more deeper into some of these areas if you want more explanation. But again, I know I'm dealing with a diverse audience, so I just decided to come up with this. Okay? Sounds good. So let's move to the next slide. So I love this quote. The reason is because everything I've presented so far, without one thing, it's useless. And that thing is what? Data. According to a British mathematician, he said data is now the new oil. Okay? Please, in the chat window, press Y if you agree with this, or press no if you don't agree. I just want to see if I will get some Y's or some no. What they say is that data is now the new oil. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay. So I have a lot of folks saying yes. Okay. And this is a very great, stuff because, captains of industries, CEOs of industries, MDs of industries, for example, nobody wants you to tell them what has happened yesterday in their company. They want you to tell them what is going to happen in the future. What is the amount of gas I can generate? What is the amount of oil I can generate? Where is there going to be leakage, pipeline leakage? How can I monitor the entire oil and gas pipeline, the downstream? How can I end-to-end monitoring, right? How can I predict what is going to happen in the future? Okay, so this is really cool. It's a British mathematician that came up with this. Then I also have another one. And again, if you believe on this, yes, you tell me, just press Y, and no if you don't. Information is the oil of the 21st century, and analytics is the combustion engine. And this is by Peter. Please press a yes or no in the chat window if you think you believe in this. Okay, so great audience. So I have a lot of yes. So I'm taking time to share this because, you know, this is how these folks think. They think towards all these direction. We think from the other side, maybe, okay, from the infrastructure side and all that. That is one side of the equation. But the other side of the equation, obviously, it's that data and that's power. That's the fuel. That's the gas. That's the combustion engine of AI, right? Once you have that, then you can build on top of that. You can predict. You can know what the next level of prediction is. So this was a concept. I think I'll share this link, share the link, but this was a infographics which shows what is AI, what are the kinds of AI. Once you click on it, it's sort of interactive. I'm going to confirm whether this tiny URL works, but I just created it for you guys so that everyone can click, you know, you can have a feel of, you know, what is AI, what are the kind of AI and all that, just to learn more. Okay. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit to move to a bit of Berkeley Lab. So Berkeley Lab was where I worked. So it's a US Department of Energy national lab, which conducts scientific research on behalf of the US Department of Energy. And they support the oil and gas industry 100%, you know, here with all these things. So it was founded in 1931, and it is the oldest of the US Department of Energy 17 national labs. And as of today, they have 16 Nobel Prize winners in that lab. I was super privileged and lucky and opportune to work at the lab, to work with some of the brightest and the smartest scientists in the world. So they do one of the broadest research portfolios. They have one of the broadest research portfolios in the world. They do cutting edge research in computer science, environmental science, oil and gas, biology, chemistry, and physics. And their mission is simple, which is to bring science solutions to the world. Remember, the Department of Energy has 17 national labs conducting research. So someone will now think, why are these guys even heavily investing in research when they don't even have an energy problem, right? So that is just to show you how they always want to move ahead of the curve. Okay. So I would like to share an approach that has really worked for the US Department of Energy. And again, I made the same presentation to NNPC and I gave them, and they really find this very interesting. And I think for folks also from the SPE community is something you should start looking at. Okay. So what DOE does is that for many decades, you know, they've been leading the frontier of research, and this is no accident. They know what they are doing. So what they do is that they identify 10-year research in advance. Okay. So they bring in researchers like you, academics, and they lock them in a room, for example, like a town hall meeting. And we're talking about 1,000 scientists and engineers and academics and researchers. Okay. I was privileged to be one of them. Okay. And on the first attachment, again, just refer to page 185. You will see, yeah, I was just part of the, you know, researchers that conducted and came up with this report. What this report does is the goal is to examine the opportunities in energy and science and oil and gas in AI, big data, and high performance computing in the next 10 years. So they sit down, they brainstorm, and everyone comes up with this idea of what he sees as the area in the next 5 to 10 years. And that is what guides the investment of US Department of Energy, for example. Okay. With that, because they know these are experts that have sat in a room, brainstorm, and they've come up with ideas. So they capture big ideas, grand challenges, and next steps to realize these opportunities. This is one of the most amazing strategies that have made US Department of Energy at the forefront of technological innovation. Again, I told you they have 17 national labs. Just Google it. You're going to see everything. So this report, again, I'm going to share it. But in that report, I think they've on chapter 8, you will see a lot. Chapter 8, that's page 81 of the first report. You will see a lot about smart energy infrastructure, IOE, you know, all these technologies. For anyone interested in research, please, you can read up and feel free to reach out. Then on the right-hand side is a similar report, but this one was focused in science. How can AI transform science? Okay. So on the left-hand side, that's for energy, and on the right-hand side. So again, I'll share all these links and feel free to reach out. So these are some of so I have just like, I think about 12 more minutes. So I'm going to start delving into some use cases. So one of the use cases is the deep air. And again, this has been done by the lab, which I worked, right? And again, I'm sharing this because this can also be applied in the oil and gas sector. So they did something they called it deep air. And what they did was that they used deep learning and satellite imagery were used to estimate the air quality impact at scale. Okay, so they use deep learning algorithm to analyze the satellite images combined with traffic information from cell phones and data already collected by environmental sensors to improve the air quality predictions. This will be very applicable in places like Kano, Lagos, or Port Harcourt, because obviously, they have a lot of gas pollution, they have a lot of air and all that. And all they did was to use AI, and this was able to help. This was done in California, by the way, and they were able to use this. Then the second one was they applied again in agriculture, and basically in an effort to revolutionize agriculture and create sustainable farming that benefit both the environment and farms. They applied AI and machine learning to the soil sample that were collected. Okay, this was reduced. The aim was to reduce the need for chemical fertilizers and enhance carbon capture intake. This was actually very cool project. Again, this is all online. You guys can read about it. And if there's anyone that is interested, I've moved to Intel, but I still have contact and I'm happy to help. Another key one was the cybersecurity related to energy, which was applied to the inverter grid. And again, the US government also have a lot of power distribution. So the power distribution grids connect thousands of power plants or to hundreds of millions of electricity customers across the US. So they developed this test machine learning algorithm and supervised control algorithm to interact with cyber physical attacks that can come on this. Again, all these projects are projects I was involved in. I can answer questions firsthand from all of them. So again, feel free to reach out. And the last was the applying machine learning for advanced building control. Again, this was a lot of reinforcement learning, energy efficient building. So modern building are becoming increasingly complex to manage. So they applied a lot of reinforcement learning to optimize building control with the goal of reducing things like energy consumption, enhance demand flexibility, and curtail carbon emission. Okay, so that's this. So switching gears a little bit to statistics of emerging technologies. So again, I've talked about all this before, renewable energy. The energy sector has invested about $3.5 billion already in AI and machine learning. And this is as of 2022. So what are we doing from Africa? 54% of this energy comprised of IoT solutions and real-time monitoring, because that's a huge problem in both energy and oil and gas, whether downstream or upstream. You want real-time monitoring, right? You want to be able to monitor the pipeline in real time, the oil flow, literally everything needs to be in real time. So you can see that really has a high percentage. Then the energy companies have adopted cloud again and data management, then big data analytics again, then predictive maintenance, which is also a very, very big deal because that will help reduce cost and downtime once you know what's going to happen next. Okay. So I just picked some projects which I collaborated with folks that worked on this. And those are some I'm going to show basically here. I think they are mainly how can from equipment maintenance for predicting failures to algorithm to predicting accurate energy demand and energy forecast. Again, these are all areas which these things can help. So I'll switch gears to other case studies, but this time around are related to really big companies, and these are not projects that have not been done. These are projects that have been done already, real time. They're working, they're already reaping the benefits of all that. Okay. So in this section, basically, I'm just looking at real world examples of how emerging technologies, again, like AI, energy, blockchain, big data, cloud computing has really transformed the energy sector. Okay. So this was done by GE, General Electric, and they implemented AI algorithm for literally equipment monitoring. So you can just take a look at how big, just imagine how big all these equipments will be, right? From General Electric to NNPC, for example, to Shell, to Chevron. This is definitely going to be, some sort of relation in how you can there's a demand for monitoring equipment monitoring. So they've used predictive analytics to foresee one potential failures, maintenance issue, and this has reduced maintenance cost by 30% and increase also the equipment uptime. Again, the same algorithm, the same models it's transferable right? It's not going to be the same, but it's transferable. That's all I'm trying to say. And that's one thing I've learned going into the space of AI is AI, machine learning, quantum. It's just a tool. It can be applied in transportation, aviation, agriculture, oil and gas, and so forth. Okay. Then the next is Shell. So Shell currently they are using machine learning for energy production. Again, they've implemented ML to optimize energy production. They've analyzed production data for enhanced efficiency, predicted equipment performance and maintenance cost, and they've integrated ML with their existing production system. And this has really increased their production efficiency. Okay. Again, there's also this AI-powered pipeline monitoring at Shell and Exxon, and this was communicated to me by by my friend in Europe. And this is something exactly they're already doing. They're already leveraging some of these emerging technologies to do, to leverage on all these things. Again, we really care less about the Western world. What can we do as Africans? What do we need to do? That's the question I want everyone to go home with today. From the African standpoint, how can we leverage some of these things and how can we take advantage of them? Enough of the West. What can we do from the African perspective, right? So knowing all these things will help. Then the next is sensor, IoT in smart grids. So they've developed IoT sensors across grid, and this is Siemens. Siemens is a very big company, and they've enabled real-time data collection and monitoring, and this has improved response times for to grid issues, and the result has been an enhanced reliability, and this has, again, enabled real-time grid control. Then the next is the blockchain. I've also tried to highlight one for blockchain. And basically, they've implemented blockchain technology for peer-to-peer energy trading. This is happening in Europe right now, by the way, and they've ensured secure and transportation transactions, facilitated decentralized energy trading platforms. The model we have most right now in developing countries is centralized, but we need to start moving to that decentralized system. And again, I know some countries have already started the decentralized energy trading in Africa. So enabling tracking of energy production and consumption. And again, this has reduced transparency and energy efficiency in energy trading. And I think the last but not the least, I've also taken one from IBM, but this is on big data analytics and energy optimization. So what I've done is to take one use case from each of the emerging technologies just to show you people. And basically here they've utilized big data analytics for energy consumption forecasting. Again, no one wants you to tell them what happened yesterday, what's going to happen in the future, right? Then optimize decision, and this has to reduce operational costs by about 15%. And lastly, this is for national grid. And again, if we think about it from our own perspective, how can folks like maybe PHCN or whatever leverage on some of these technologies, right, to improve efficiency? So I know I have just a few more minutes, but this is my closing thoughts before I also have slides on quantum, but I'm gonna share the whole slides, then folks can go into that. But I know that 40 minutes was not going to be enough for me to give the energy, the emerging, then move into quantum. So quantum is the next, and that's I have them as my backup slides. So the call to action, the midstream and downstream sector must leverage on some of these things to really remain competitive. And the role of autonomous refinery, AI-driven fuel distribution, and quantum enhanced logistics will shape the future of the industry. Again, this is firsthand. This is what I'm already seeing here in terms of making a lot of stuff autonomous, fuel distribution. All these things are things that, the energy are already, the DOE and all that are already investing a lot in. Okay. So to conclude, I'm not going to reread this, but these are my conclusion, and looking at the current energy landscape, we need to start embracing some of these emerging technologies. And these are the key technologies driving transformation. And these are my final thoughts. Leveraging on some of this, it's really essential. Otherwise, we will still keep being left behind. And collaboration and investment in R&D is also key. And this is something we are really lacking, from the Africa standpoint. So again, I've talked about this. This is the for future evolution of emerging technologies. These are the list. So I'm going to ask the moderator if I have just 2 minutes to, just introduce you guys on what the quantum and how DOE is looking at it. If not, then we can just go on the Q&A. So do I have 2 more minutes, or I think I'm
okay,
time
2
up?
minutes. 2 minutes, fine. 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes is fine. Okay, fine. So this is basically my visit to the Congress where I gave a talk, and this is all on the slide, and this is online. There's a video on it online in case if you want to see, just to inspire folks that are coming. So basically, the project I worked on was called QuantNet. So the QuantNet stands for Quantum Application Network Testbed for Novel Entanglement. And this was a collaboration between 5 different institutions: UC Berkeley, Berkeley Lab, Caltech, and the university from Denmark. And basically, the main idea was to build a quantum network testbed based on entanglement. Okay, so if anyone that has physics or has ever had a physics background will know what entanglement is. But I'm just going to give you a quick example, a quick analogy for you to start thinking about. Okay, there's no way you will understand the whole of quantum, but when you think about a quantum network, for example, is just basically a buzzword, right? But basically, a quantum network, just like you have the internet deals with zeros and ones, right? Sorry, packets. But when you come to a quantum network, you're only going to be thinking about qubits, basically. Okay, so I have it here. So difference between a classical network and a quantum network, and this is what I want to leave you guys with today, just since you guys are not quantum experts, but this is the way to think about it. On my left-hand side, I have a quantum network, which we have right now. That's what we're communicating with right now. We're on a classical network, okay? We're using TCP/IP network, and all we're transferring is packets, right? From A to B. I'm able to talk, you're able to hear me, you're able to reply. That's a classical network. When you move to a quantum network, start thinking about what we call qubits. So for a classical network, all you have here is zeros and ones. That's it. From a quantum networks, you have something called qubits. Okay, so the quantum computers don't understand 0 and 1. What they understand is qubits. Okay, so again, I don't want to push too much technical terms to you, but start thinking about there's something called entanglement distribution, which is moving these qubits from one place to another, and they are not losing their shape. That's actually the power of quantum. Okay, then lastly, this was what the proof of concept of what the project looks like. So we have different, this, for example, maybe was in Kaduna on the left-hand side, maybe here it was in Kaduna, here was in Abuja, here was Port Harcourt, and they have different, so think about it, not just quantum network, but right now we're having, so not just classical network, but we have quantum network distributed across each nodes, and you can run experiments on those network. You can do amazing things, and it's going to be 10x faster. So imagine browsing on an internet and it's taking you 5-10 minutes. On a quantum network, it's going to be super fast, 100x fast. Okay, so with that, I'm going to leave. I know I don't like going beyond time, but again, I'm going to share these slides. Feel free to go through them and reach out if you have any questions. Thank you very much, moderator. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Bashir Mohammed. I think he deserves some virtual applause for that very exciting presentation. Of course, starting from the current energy landscape, we heard about the challenges and opportunities in the energy sector, case studies, real-world applications. Thank you so much. And of course, key innovations and impacts. It's time for questions, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be taking only 3 questions. So please, if you have questions, drop them in the chat box, and then we would continue from them. However, if you don't have questions, we will continue with the event. So please, I would like to have your questions now, or if you want to speak, you raise your hands and you allow just 2 people to speak. The rest, 3 questions on the chat box and 2 people to speak, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bashir Mohammed, Dr. Bashir. We, of course, appreciate your kind time and attention. So please, do you have questions? We are waiting for your questions, please. It's time for your questions. Or okay, Sanusi Mohammed, I see your question. My question is, as a student of petroleum engineering and passionate about ML, what process will I follow to advance my knowledge? And then the second question is from Omar Abdullahi. Will the quantum internet be available on Android? So, Dr. Bashir, please, can you take the 2 questions now? The 2 questions.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So in terms of what the students will follow, obviously, again, my background was electrical engineering, but I was able to pivot to, to AI, all that. Again, the fundamental, the main thing is maths. Once you have a maths background, once you know maths, and I'm assuming as a petroleum engineer, you have a maths background, you've done engineering maths, maybe in your 100 level, right? So that will really help. Then you just need to pick out one of the most favorite and most famous programming language to do any AI and ML, which is Python. And my 9-year-old son is already learning Python. He's actually a Python expert. So it's super easy to learn. And there's platforms like Udemy, Coursera, and all that. Again, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to share some of these links. It's a good skill to have on top of your petroleum engineering degree. Honestly, you will never regret it. Just, upskilling and having some of these AI techniques and skills to apply in your domain, because you are a domain expert. Then yes, will it be applied in Android? Yes, obviously. Once it gets to that point, we are not there yet, obviously, but once we get to that point, if we have a quantum internet, you'll be able to, it's going to be accessible via any device. But we are still many years ahead to get to that point. We are not there yet. Okay. So that's, I hope that answers that. I'm wary of time because I know you have your event, so I kept it short. But feel free to reach out via email or anything. I'm happy to respond. Yeah, this is my LinkedIn here, and I'll share with the moderator. Moderator, also you can.
Okay, Tom Ago, please can you unmute your mic and speak? You have just 1 minute to ask your question, Tom Ago. Unmute your mic.
Thank you. Hi, Bashir. Nice presentation. So, FET winner alumni. My wife has a question here for you.
Okay, that's good.
Good afternoon, Dr. Bashir.
Thank you.
My name is Odam Egwagu. I have experience in delivering cloud-based solutions for distributed fiber optic sensing and analytics. My first question is regards to the upstream applications. You talked about AI-driven leak detection models. I don't know how much experience you have in this. If yes, I would like to know what data types do we use and if this was a real-time monitoring solution.
Yes, great. Yeah. So I don't have much experience in the leak detection, but there's a friend of mine who works in ExxonMobil in Houston, Texas. And again, I'm happy to create the introduction and connection. But basically, what this is actually a real-time solution. And the kind of data I think they collect it's going to be a diverse data, right? Because there's going to be data from the infrastructure itself, how they are monitoring this, then most of the data is going to be through sensor data, actually, which is the IoT, right? Because this sensor it's going to be collecting a lot of data from maybe even the environment, for example, the movement, for example, the fluids that are moving, all these things are going to form some sort of data points that will be fed into the model. And with that, they can have some sort of visualization or real-time monitoring of when something is about to happen. In terms of the leak detection, I think that's also a layer 2, which is, yes, you can monitor what is happening. But when you monitor what is happening, when you know that a problem is going to happen, what do you do next? Right? And that is where also the predictive analytics can come into play, whereby you have models where, you can develop predictive analytics to predict when something is going to happen, right? Or what is the likelihood, probability that this is going to happen and this is going to happen. And that's where you also talk about isolating. When there's a problem, you can isolate, move people from one place to another. So the question to my response to you is yes, most of the data are going to be sensor data, and they can be from anywhere. I'm not a domain expert, but it can be from anywhere, from maybe the fluids that are moving, the environment itself, to the pipe, anything, most of those. So whatever data you get, that will form part of how a model, a visualization model or a predictive model can be built from that. So again, feel free to reach out to me. If this is your active research area, I'm happy to introduce you to the right folks. But I'm the AI expert, so anything that has to do with AI, building the models, that's my domain, and I'm also happy to collaborate on that.
Thank you, Doctor.
No problem.
Thank you. I believe all of your questions has been answered. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you so much for sparing about 40 minutes to lecture us on quantum and everything and how it can be of immense value to the energy sector. Ladies and gentlemen, we're switching gears immediately to wrap up the event. And of course, we'd like to introduce
Thank you very
our amazing membership chair, Dr. Rume Ogolo, as he comes forward to present the Spe Abuja membership pack. Dr. Rume, the stage is yours for 5 minutes, sir.
Very good evening to everyone. Thanks, Doc, for the presentation. Just give me 1 minute. Let me try and see if I can share my screen now. I think I really enjoyed the presentation, lots of insight, and also thanks for sharing with us those strategies in terms of how, these guys look at the future and see how they can always lead when it comes to cutting edge research. I think I gained a lot from your presentation. So thank you for sharing those light with us. So what we'll be presenting on is welcome membership welcome pack to give more value to our members who registered to become a member of SPE. So I'm the membership committee chair, and we're able to come up with this initiative just to give value and make the knowledge of SPE. We're trying to bring the knowledge of SPE to the doorstep of every member. So once you register as a member, we'll send the membership pack to you just to give you a thorough knowledge of SPE. So I want to start sharing my screen now. I guess you can all see my screen, right? Just confirm if you can see my screen.
Very well, very well.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the Spe Abuja section membership pack, and I would also thank the section board members for their support to see that we're able to come up with this membership pack, so that once we have a new member, the person does not even need to reach out to us to get some certain duties. The person with the membership pack will be able to know about our section, be able to know about SPE, as you can see here, about us, what we do, and how can people become a member of SPE, as you can see in the second aspect of this membership pack, the mission of SPE, who can be a part of SPE, what to look out for. And one very important thing is our programs and events, so that our members can become aware of what programs that we do, the annual technical conference and exhibition that usually takes place in the US, NAIS in Lagos, the Young Professional Session, the Olubiri lecture that is coming up in April, the Student Technical Symposium and Exhibition, African Gas Innovation Summit, and the kind of programs we organize as a section. So these are what our members will now be having in mind, and what are the benefits is also yet to. And also too, you also have one of the most important part, which is how to navigate the SPE website, because most times we get this call from new members. I want my membership pack. I want my SPE membership number. So with this information here, the member which have access to will be able to get whatever thing he or she is looking for, in terms of your membership number, how do you even renew your membership. So it's all embedded in this part of the membership pack. Then this other part of the pack talks about the section board members. Sometimes when new members comes in, when they look at this, a glance at the section board members, they could be able to identify more people that they may know in the section, and they can reach out to, so that that would sustain their membership with SPE. And finally, this is the photo gallery of our section. As you can see, our section chair is smiling along with our program chair. Then you can see our able council chair, Dr. Amina, is there, and a host of other persons that are there, and the activities that we do. So this photo gallery kind of also give our members, new members, what we have done as a section. And with some of these things, they can also see a way they could to volunteer or contribute to the activities of the section. So this is just the brief of the membership welcome pack, and we are launching it today. and we're launching it today. And from today henceforth, we'll be sending this membership pack to our new members. So it's quite a good day that we have this brilliant and excellent presentation, and we're launching this as part of the program. So once again, thank you, and I'll stop here.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Rume Ogolo, for, of course, giving us a brief of the membership pack. And yes, this is Dr. Ogolo telling you that if you want to have a view of this membership pack and have access to all of the information well outlined, you should register and be a member of Spe Abuja section. You have access to several events, including Dr. Bashir and several other talents in the industry who spare time to speak to us for free. The membership fee is on your screen at just 86,500 naira. And of course, the renewal fee is 69,500 naira. However, in SPE, if you don't renew your membership fee at the end of the year, that being 31st December, you'll be required to pay something called a restatement fee, which is 17,000 naira. So we kindly appeal that whenever your membership expires, you pay your renewal fee as soon as possible. Contact Dr. Romeo Ogolo. The number is on the screen. Chat with him on WhatsApp, disturb him. He's always at your service to assist you. For those that want to renew membership, the screenshot, take a screenshot of this screen. And of course, you would be so pleased that Dr. Romeo will respond to you once you share a screenshot of payments to him. Of course, you can check our events on social media platforms. This event is live streamed on YouTube. Check on YouTube, you'll see our past events. And of course, go to our social media pages from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram to X, formerly called Twitter, and you have access to all of our information and programs. Yes, Spe Abuja section info@gmail.com is our official email address. Send email to us and we'll be so pleased to respond to you in 24 hours. Our YPs have an amazing event coming. They are doing a master class on Power BI and AI. Of course, if you visit our social media page, you'll see more details on this. But tomorrow, being Friday, by 8 p.m., we'll have a training on understanding the basics of Power BI. Kindly screenshot this post or go to our LinkedIn page and get more details. Of course, Chizo Mokoye is our YP chair and he can always assist you on more information. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the before we have the vote of thanks and the closing remarks, we'd like to have a remark from our section director who is on the call. Section director, Sir Dr. Vincent Ibe, please can you just give a few words of remark before we switch over to the closing remarks by our programs chair 2. Sir Dr. Vincent Ibe, are you there on the call? Okay, wanted him to give a few remarks as one of our leaders and the founding fathers of Spe Abuja section. Please confirm you can hear me. Let me know if I'm speaking to myself.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, probably Sir Dr. Victor Zibe is not by his phone. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the event with a remark, and would like to call Dr. Malami Mohammed, assistant programs chief for the closing remark. Dr. Malami Mohammed, please, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Afam. Confirm you can hear me, please.
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
So good evening, everyone. Apologies, I joined the meeting a bit late because I had a bit of a network challenge. So, Dr. Bashir, thank you so much. On behalf of the SPE, the Society of Petroleum Society Engineers, Section 199, I would like to express our gratitude to all our esteemed participants on the call. I think at the beginning we have about 40 participants. So, of course, this is because for them to join this, I mean, it means they have attached so much importance and significance to these sections, to this webinar. So, and also I would like to give a special thanks to our distinguished speaker, that's Dr. Bashir Mohammed, for sharing his expertise and insight, and also a rich understanding of the world of AI and how it relates to our energy industry. You can all agree with me that Dr. Bashir is an expert in this field and he has done justice to the topic. Dr. Bashir, once again, thank you very much. I can remember the back and forth we had, and also, some of the times you're really busy to respond to the messages and all of that, but finally we're able to do it. Thank you very much, Dr. Bashir. We also want to extend our gratitude to the leadership of the SPE Section 199 and also the Programs Department specifically, and also the entire board of Abuja section for their support in making this event possible. Your commitment ensures we continue delivering impactful technical sessions to our members. Once again, thank you for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you all in our next webinar. And remember, we usually have these technical sessions every month, so please keep a date with us and join us in our next upcoming monthly technical webinar. So until then, I want to say thank you very much for staying up to this moment, and please do have a lovely evening. Thank you very much. Mr. Appen, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Programs Chair. 2 Assistant Programs Chair, for your amazing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, come to the end of the event. Please do me a favor, turn on your video cameras. Let's have a quick shot for social media. And of course, we wrap up the event today. Please turn on your video cameras. Turn on your video cameras, please. So when I say SP, you respond with clean energy. When I say SP, you respond with clean energy. We see our treasurer, Nana Rintum. We see you, Ma'am Engineer. Nana, thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good remark. So please, thumbs up and clean energy when I say SPE. Please, I'm waiting for you to turn on your video cameras. 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 Thank you. You're waiting for a few more people to turn on their cameras. Okay. A few more people to turn on and we are done. Okay, so when I say SPE, you respond with clean energy and your thumbs up. SPE.
Cleaner energy.
So we advise no longer cleaner energy, clean energy. Okay, so SPE, your thumbs up.
Clean energy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We call it a day for